Welcome back to another episode of the Game of Thrones series that I'm doing. This is slightly different because it's just an analysis of the previous episode that we watched, which was Game of Thrones Season 5 Episode 10, the season finale. There was a lot that happened in that episode which I couldn't quite come to terms with until a little bit after actually watching it, which is now why I'm making this video. So there's a couple of things I wanted to run through about what happened in the episode, how the episode ended, how it began, and I'm just going to quickly run through everything that happened like I usually do, and then maybe add a little bit here and there of my thoughts. So we first started off with Stannis finding out that half his men had run off with the horses and abandoned them, to then immediately find out that his wife had committed suicide due to his actions and due to the fact that they've sacrificed their own daughter for what ended up being a pointless sacrifice. He marched on Winterfell and he lost. Lady Melisandre, she ran off back to the Wall, to Castle Black, to the Night's Watch, abandoning Stannis because I think she knew that something was wrong. She knew that she had made a wrong decision somewhere, or she'd seen something and lied. So I think there's a lot more to come out about that. I think there's a lot more behind why Lady Melisandre actually ran off rather than admitted that she was wrong, but she still ran, and I think she knew that something was up, something was going to happen that she wasn't expecting, and I think she was lying to Stannis about what she saw in the fire, and he was seeing what he believed he was seeing in the fire, because that's what he wanted to believe, that's what he wanted to see. So there's something a bit strange going off there, a bit suspicious. Obviously, if anybody has any comments, without spoilers, put them down below, correct me, teach me, tell me knowledge of what you guys also think or what it actually is compared to what I'm actually saying. But I think that there was something a bit suspicious going off. It could have been a load of tripe, but we have seen some evidence that the Lord of Light is real, that it is a thing, that it does save, that it does all this that Lady Melisandre has actually stated that it does, but it's just something a bit odd, and she's either taken aback and shocked and scared that she will be executed for guiding Stannis into this direction, or she was lying the whole time. I don't know. I think there's more to come out about that, so we'll see. So Stannis marched on Winterfell and he lost. That ended up with being executed by Brienne of Tarth. She found Stannis, the last alive I would expect, and executed him for Renly, in the name of Renly, the first king that she truly believed in, truly wanted to guard, and she stuck to her oath. She is an Oathkeeper, and she killed him with the sword, Oathkeeper, which I think has a lot of meaning behind it. During the battle, we saw Sansa go up into the tower, and she lit the candle. That's when Brienne and Podrick left to find Stannis. But after this, she left the tower, and she came across Theon with that butcher's baker's daughter, I don't fucking know, that shitty ass character who is completely in love with Ramsay. She was going to shoot an arrow into Sansa, or so it seemed, and Theon did something about it and pushed her over the edge, and she's dead. Then he grabbed Sansa's hand and they ran for it. What happened then? They jumped off the castle wall, and it looked quite high up, and I'm not entirely sure what happened. It better have been deep snow. There better be it probably wasn't a suicide jump. I don't expect that of them. I think it was an escape, and they trusted that they could fall that far. Although last time when somebody jumped that far, look what happened. So they jumped off the castle walls, and I'm hoping that they're alright, but they have potentially escaped. Who knows? The likelihood is Ramsay's going to find out. There's going to be a witch hunt. Well, not a witch hunt, but there's going to be a hunt, and things are going to go badly. And I can just sense it already, because Ramsay's that twisted. He knows when something's wrong. So I can just sense that not everything is as good as it seems. Sansa and Theon aren't free yet, and there's a lot more to come with that. Then we saw Arya's scene. She killed Sir Meryn Trant, and it was brutal. She used a face from the Hall of Faces and she brutally killed Sir Meryn. And it turns out that that wasn't the person that the Many-Faced God had left her. It was supposed to be the Many-Faced God's kill. And things got a bit suspicious, a bit spooky, a bit confusing, and she started to go blind. Now I'm really wondering what she's got herself into. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. She's been led to believe that this guy, whoever he is a friend, and he's not. He is somebody who believes in this religion, I guess you could call it, and That's all he is. He believes in this many-faced God. He's nobody. He can be whoever he wants and he's nobody, and that's what he believes in. And you can tell that he's strict with that policy because he treats her as he would with anybody else. Just because Arya thinks that they're friends has no difference on the scenario and what's going to happen to her. And now she's gone blind. Is it a temporary thing or is it a long-lasting thing? I'd be gutted if it was a long-lasting thing because Arya has a huge character that I think would be ruined if that happened. So I'm guessing it's probably just a threat. I think it could potentially be a threat to warn her not to do the same thing again, or a penalty or punishment for killing the many-faced god's kill. Another death that I wasn't actually expecting was Myrcella's. She kissed that bitch of Dawn who had that poison, the slow killing poison on her lips, and that killed Myrcella as they were sailing away back to King's Landing. I think that was uncalled for and pretty bitchy, and frankly I'm expecting some consequences for her because it was against the prince's word. It's most definitely ruined the friendship between them, that's for sure. There could be a lot more war and hatred between the two sides after that, because I'd certainly want to kill that bitch. I'd want to go back there and slit her throat big time. I don't care if that poor girl is born of incest. She's still a girl that's been born into this world. She loves her father, who just so happens to be her mother's brother, but she didn't deserve it. Definitely not. And this bitch of Dawn, don't care about her name. She's a bitch in my eyes. She killed her, and I think that's so unnecessary and fucking shit. So I do feel sorry for her, but I'm pretty sure that there's going to be more coming with that storyline as well, which I'm hoping, if there is, I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with her, because she needs to die. Totally, she just needs to die. Varys finds Tyrion in Meereen. As I always expected, Varys would kind of rock up out of nowhere, and that's what happened, and that made me happy because they do work as a great team. Let's get it out there, they are a great team together, and Tyrion's a very knowledgeable, honourable man, and Varys, even though he can be a bit of a dick, he is doing what's best for the realm, wherever he is, whichever side he supports. And at the moment, he's supporting Daenerys, as far as I'm aware. Don't tell me there's a twist, but that's who he's supporting. And so the fact that Varys has found Tyrion, obviously, and now they're going to work as a team, I think things can go really well for Daenerys. I really do think she can probably take back the Iron Throne bit by bit, gradually going through the phases of war and ownership. She can gradually get that, but we'll see where that leads us in time. We then saw Daenerys surrounded by horses. She was first with Drogon in this scene, and she walked down in her very black charred clothing, and she was then faced with these men on horses. And I was a bit confused at first, and I did the editing and I looked back, and one of the shots, the first shot of a man on a horse, had really long hair, and as far as I'm aware, all the bells that ring in my head say Dothraki. And if that is a Dothraki army who are coming to find her, not to do anything bad to her, but to join her army to make her stronger, that is a big deal, because that's a lot of cavalry. That's a lot of men, very skilled fighters, warriors, who can do some incredible things for Daenerys. And I'm 100% sure that, well, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 90% sure that something good can come of this. And like I said, when I first saw it, I was like, that can't be good. This looks suspicious. That's too many men coming from different angles. Like, why would they do that? That's quite a war strategy, you know, catch them off guard, surround them kind of thing. And then they started to circle round her, and then that's all of a sudden when I realised nobody's actually going to kill her, because good things come to Daenerys. I've found that good things do come to her, even though she goes through some shit. Bit by bit she gets some goodness. So I'm hoping this is a little bit of goodness that she can actually take away with her, which can help her win the Iron Throne back, which would be fucking sick if she had all that cavalry, because that is a lot of men and a lot of warrior and a lot of fight. Then we saw Cersei's scene, which was one hell of a scene. In fact, it was quite traumatizing in a way which you were watching it and you felt embarrassed for her. You felt dread, you felt the humility. You felt like you were in her shoes because you were walking it with her. You were walking down those streets towards the castle with her. And yes, we all hate her. I fucking despise the bitch. She's not a nice character, and that's the way she's supposed to be. But what Game of Thrones seems to do is make you feel sorry for people that you shouldn't really care about. And the fact that she's done this walk of atonement because of this Faith, who I'm pretty sure we can all say we hate this Faith. This Faith is a cruel, disruptive, horrible ruler of what is now King's Landing. It just doesn't work for the place, and it's taking over, and there will be consequences for it, and I'm pretty sure that is coming soon. Having said that, at this moment in time, they are essentially the rulers. They are the judges, and they're the people who sentence the punishments. And for what Cersei admitted to, which wasn't all the incest that she had committed, but what she had admitted to, they make her do a walk of atonement completely naked, all the way from the Sept to the Red Keep. And that is quite a walk, you can tell that. But the way she first handled it, trying to ignore it, and then gradually you saw her cracking, and you saw pieces of her skin flaking off, and, you know, kind of getting who the real person is below that thick skin. She's embarrassed, humiliated, she's scared, she's upset. Well, she doesn't want to do the walk, she's completely embarrassed. So I would be. I think anybody in the world would be. And because she's such a huge figure in that area, in that location, it's even more embarrassing because everybody knows her. So I did feel sorry for her. I hate her, but I felt sorry for her, and she deserved what she got. I'm pretty sure that we could say that she did deserve everything, all the shit things that she's done to people. It's all kind of come crashing down her, and that's what she gets. But then she gets a bit of luck. She gets a stroke of luck, which is one huge Kingsguard, who, now looking back and thinking about it, the mountain disappeared for ages. He was huge. Is this the mountain that's underneath the cloak, that's underneath the helmet? Now, all I could see when I was watching it was this bruised, blue, swollen look through the eye holes, and there's got to be a monster under there, and whatever that maester has done, even though he's not even a maester, but whatever he has done is severely fucked up. And I can understand why he was taken, like all of his chains and whatnot, taken away from him for his experiments, because that's what it creates, and that can't be good for anybody. It's just a bit messed up. However, I think that Cersei will probably use that to her advantage, and he's taken a vow of silence until everybody that she hates is dead. So he could just go out there and kill everybody that she has something against, that has done something to her, like the Faith. So we'll see where that takes us, but there's a monster under there and it's not pretty at all. So I'm really, really eager to see what this thing looks like, and I'm hoping that we do see sometime soon in the next season. To finish off the episode, we saw something that, well, we all know what it was. It was Jon's death, and I wasn't expecting anything like that. I wasn't expecting him to die or to be stabbed. I mean, he didn't do what a lot of the Night Watch wanted, but he did what was best for the Wall, for what he'd seen, and it's a shame that they did that, and it's a shame that he had to go like that, because it was a dirty death. They betrayed him by lying to his face, Ollie especially, leading him to this a door which had some pieces of wood over it, and it said traitor, and he turns around and that's the first stab for the watch, you know. And it was ruthless and it was dirty, and I'm pretty pissed off with Ollie. Like, fuck him. At first I did like that little kid, but fuck him. And I know he's got a lot of vengeance inside him, and I know he wants to avenge his family. But Jesus, Jon is a good guy, and he's got good intentions and a good heart, and I don't think that's a bad thing. It could get him killed, which, I mean, it has got him killed, but it's not really a bad thing. He's just doing what's best, and I think that could bring a better world. But these guys clearly didn't think so, and instead have just stabbed his insides and made him die, and blood all over the snow, which is really, really sad, and I couldn't really put into words at the time what was going through my head. I think I was more shocked than upset. I wasn't expecting that at all. There's things that I don't expect, and then that was one, because Jon is such a major character of the show. That being said, the Lord of Light Lady Melisandre, she is there at the Castle Black, and if this Lord of Light is real, I feel as though there's potential that she could use her special magic to bring him back. I'm not entirely sure if that would work in the story, if the calculations of who people believe in, and if it would work, and if that is even going to be a part of the story. But I'd like to hope, because Jon is one of my favourite characters, and I'd rather hope than just be like, you know what, he's dead and he's gone from the show, because then there wouldn't be much of a story up at Castle Black, in my opinion, apart from just the war. I'm really, really hoping that something good happens for Jon Snow. But until then, Jon is dead. I was really shocked. I was really upset. Didn't expect it. Yeah, I just had to walk out and end the video because it just had me. It completely had me. I watched it back when I was editing, and that's when I cried. That's when I teared up watching it, and it hit the feels a lot. And I wish I'd filmed it, but I was actually at a different place editing it. But it got my feels big time. Again, it wasn't something I expected, and I was absolutely gutted. In the light of things, I am hoping for something good to come of it, but I'm really, really not sure if anything is, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. And I might just have to accept that Jon's dead and gone and bled out all over the snow in Castle Black. So that's pretty much everything that I can remember and that I've written down that happened in the episode. I've probably missed a couple of things, but whatever you have to add, as long as there's no spoilers, please make sure you leave them down in the comments. I've got moderators going through, so if there are any spoilers, they will be removed. I don't want to see anything in Season 6. I want to go in completely blind, because this season has had me by the balls. If there's anything you want to add, anything you want to tell me about, anything you want to teach me about, anything that happened, drop it in the comments. After a while, I will come back to the comments and I'll read them. I will be educated. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this kind of episode, this quick analysis. It won't be a usual thing, unfortunately. I only did it this time because I felt like the last episode really needed to be talked about because so much happened. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to watching Season 6. And please, if you want to watch Season 6 with me, make sure you click the like button down below first of all, and then click subscribe. If you're really keen on watching my videos, click the notification bell next to it, and you'll be notified of all my uploads. Thank you very much, and I will see you at the beginning of Season 6.